In three, two. Hey, Shane. So, talk to us about paid social media. Tell me one or a couple tactics or strategies that will help bring in new patients and help us better utilize this platform.
Yeah. Social media is been a big driver of new patients for many of our clients, the majority of our clients. And it goes either way. You have, startup office on one side who's, starting from scratch, just needs to get patients in the door. And then you have more of your established practices who's just trying to grow to that next level. And social media is one of those ways, specifically paid advertising on social media, that you can grow the practice and grow the new patients. And the first one I'm going to talk about is on the startup side, but this applies to your established offices as well. But we had a practice that opened up this summer, and scratch startup, didn't have any sort of existing practice that they purchased, anything starting scratch based. And we ran social media ads, I think it was actually 3 months before the office even opened. We did everything from talking about the new location, that's going to be opening and the different services that will be provided. We did an ad specifically about meet the doctor. This is who I am. This is why I'm excited to serve the community. And then the third ad we did was the grand opening. Come to our grand opening of our office. This is who we are, our philosophy. And each of those had a picture of the doctor in it, just taken with the phone, like with the building, still under construction and everything. So it wasn't like professional photography.
Mhm.
And we ran those three ads up until the opening date. That first month, this startup saw over 130 new patients in the first month. And the majority of those patients came through the Facebook ad that had been running. So that begs the question of, how do you run an ad? What are the steps to making an ad actually convert and drive new patients to the practice? The first part of this is the creative. So with your creative, you have to make the ad not look like an ad. Too many
Mhm.
times we'll see something when scrolling through Facebook or Instagram where you can tell it's an ad just looking at it. Maybe it was made on Canva or whatever the case is, but you just look at it and it looks like an ad. The key to driving a higher engagement rate on your ads is so they look like just regular posts that somebody would have posted on their profile. And so that's a picture with your phone, or even a selfie in front of your office space, or maybe you get a picture next to one of your patients and you're talking about this awesome review that they left you, rather than just posting like a review graphic, but actually having a photo of the doctor or somebody on the team in the photo is the first step in ensuring that you're going to get a high quality patient engagement out of that. So the second part of that is obviously the text that goes along with the ad. So we're really big, and I know there's a study out there on this. I don't have the exact data in front of me, but Facebook and Instagram ads that have emojis in them actually have a much higher rate of engagement. It draws the person's eye to what they're reading. If you put a green check mark next to the services we provide, dental implants, veneers, Invisalign, whatever it is, and you have one of the green like emoji check marks next to each of those,
Mhm.
that's going to drive a higher engagement than just putting the services listed. We've tested it before and we've seen that. So that's the second part, is making sure that your messaging actually it has some emojis in it, number one, but number two, isn't coming off as super salesy. It's coming off as, hey, this is a little bit about who we are, what we do, and why we're excited to, serve the community. So having those three questions kind of built into your message. And then the final piece of that is where you're sending the traffic to. So with all of our clients, we have a landing page, whether it's the website or a specific landing page built within the website, that has a giant banner video right when the person comes to the website, so they can see what the office looks like, what it feels like, how the people interact, what the doctor is, how it's like interacting with the doctor. All of those things they're going to see automatically playing in this giant banner video when they come to the site. And what that does is that starts to ease that anxiety that patients have when they have to find a new healthcare provider, or maybe they know they've been putting off going to the dentist and they need to do it, but they've just been putting it off for fear of, a bad procedure in the past, whatever the case is. So when you send that traffic, you've got their attention from the ad and you send them to a landing page that has, the custom videography and photography, that's where you're going to have a much better shot of actually converting that patient. Because think about it from the consumer side of it. If you see this ad, pop up and it really resonates with you, and then you click on it, and then you're taken to this like stock cookie cutter website that's got stock photos of families, and you don't even see like the doctor inside the practice on it. It's nothing that's going to stand out to you or be, particularly special. So when you have something where people can kind of look and see what it's like inside the office before they've even hit that schedule button or call now button, you're going to have a much better chance of actually converting that patient. So that's kind of the first step there, making sure you have a creative photo that's working as far as, looks like it's just, a regular photo. It's not, an ad looking. So it doesn't have like a graphic in it. You want to make sure you have copy that, answers those questions, who we are, what we do, why we're excited, serve the community, but also, use some emojis in there, be a little fun with it. And then obviously that third piece of it is making sure that where you're sending the traffic to is, unique and is built to convert those patients. To kind of piggyback off of that, one question we get is, okay, that's for, like general new patients on social media. Do I just boost this, or what do I do? A boost post and an ad campaign are two separate things. A boost post is great for if you posted something, maybe it was a review that a patient had left you and you got your picture with that person. That's a great boost. You boost it $25, $30, whatever the case is, over a 5-day period. People see it, and then it's kind of like more of a branding tool. An ad campaign is, this ad's running for at least a month, and it needs to run for 2, 3, or 4 months typically, for it to really get dialed in and start to get to your ideal, most likely patient to convert. So the reason I say that is it takes Facebook's algorithm about a month to learn who's converting on your campaign, who's clicking on it, who's not clicking on it, where are those people at, what time of day, all of these things. It's an algorithm. So the number one mistake that I see practice owners make is they run an ad for like 2 or 3 weeks and then they stop it. The ad hasn't even learned yet who the audience is that it needs to be, serving the ad to. Even if you set those parameters of people between 25 and 50 years old in a 5-mile radius or whatever the case is, it's going to take at least a month for it to learn who is converting. So then by month 2, 3, and 4, that's when you typically see these campaigns start to take off. And that's exactly the example I used at the beginning of the startup who saw over 130 new patients when their first month. These ad campaigns had been running months up until the opening. So by the time that they opened, the algorithm was dialed in, their ideal patient was dialed in. And at that point, your cost per lead is going to go down. Your overall reach is going to increase to the ideal target patient base that you have. So that's the prime thing, Michael, I like to drive home is Facebook ad campaign, long-term campaign. Let it run 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. We have some that's run over a year and are still converting patients. Boosted post, more of a temporary branding, get it out there for a week, 2 weeks, kind of gets your page out and about, and it's still useful, but two different, types of campaigns.
Gotcha. And I know you were talking about how like bilingual, if they're bilingual, to like kind of hone in on that, right?
Yeah, this is the biggest opportunity that I see in the dental marketing space, specifically with social media and paid social media ads, is if you're a bilingual office, you need to be targeting specifically those, whatever it's Spanish or Portuguese, whatever the case is, you need to be targeting that group with your paid social media ads. Perfect example of this is we were meeting with one of our clients earlier today who is Spanish speaking and English speaking. And months ago, we were trying to figure out like, how can we differentiate ourselves, in a crowded marketplace? Because there was a lot of competition in the area, a lot of corporate dentistry doing $29 exam, cleaning, x-rays. How do we compete with that? So what we determined was, well, everybody in the office was pretty much bilingual, and there's a big underserved Hispanic population in this area. Why don't we create content, videos, and photos and target Spanish speaking people? So we have Facebook and Instagram ads that have been out there running for 6+ months now that are in Spanish. That when they click on to like learn more on the ad, it takes them to a landing page that's in Spanish, and the patient can book all the way through in Spanish. And what we found, it was amazing results on this. What we found is the Spanish ad had a 3 times higher conversion rate for half the price that we were paying for the just regular English speaking campaign. So this was a population where you built automatic trust and authority with them because you were coming to them, speaking their primary language, and that, builds trust automatically. They're like, oh, that doctor speaks Spanish or whatever language it is, makes them more comfortable. And so, we saw just a huge increase in number of new patients that office was seeing. They were seeing, when we were just targeting English speaking patients, about 20 to 25 new patients a month. Once we started targeting the Spanish speaking population, that office now is seeing anywhere between 45 and 55 new patients a month, with another 20, 25 of those being Spanish speaking, people that came in and said, I saw your ad on Facebook, I saw your ad on Instagram, and they're traveling much further distance as well. So even if you're in an area like Southern California or Texas that has a huge Spanish speaking population, and you think a lot of offices may be doing this, they're probably not. They're probably not targeting, or there's not as many of them out there targeting these bilingual speaking individuals. And that's a huge opportunity for you to grow your practice that way.
Nice, man. Okay. So we want to be creative, right? Make the ad not look like an ad, be super duper, you know what I mean? Maybe could we do a video maybe, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recommend videos and photos. I mean, each serve their own purpose,
Mhm.
but we usually, if at any given time, we're running 4 to 5 Facebook ads for an office. Usually 2 to 3 of those will be video, and then the other 2 will be photos. So absolutely, and you can do a combination of some professional videos, like we go out, we'll shoot professional videos for offices, and we'll use those. But we also find that then just the stuff with the cell phone, like that you pick up and just kind of is more raw, that performs really, really well because it doesn't look, scripted, rehearsed, polished. It looks like just, you're hopping on your phone, sharing a message, and, boom, posting it. So those work really well too.
Nice. Okay. So be creative, make the ad look not like an ad. When I have emojis in the ad, the second step, have emojis in the ad, make sure messaging doesn't come off super salesy. And then third is, where are you sending the traffic to, right? Make sure wherever it's going, wherever they're landing, it's converting. And then what would even make that 10 times better is if you're bilingual, hone in, like hyper focus on a specific language, right? In the community, especially if it's popular in that community.
Yeah, and I mean, just another example of this from earlier this week, we launched a Facebook ad for a startup that's going to be opening next month, and this particular doctor speaks Thai, and they're in a pretty big city, top 5 like populous city in the United States, and we targeted a big radius Thai speaking people. The ads in Thai that they're seeing, we launched that ad, and within the first 48 hours that we had launched it, he had 7 new patient form requests come through that, and many of those were families of 3 or 4 people as well. So he may have 20 plus inquiries in a 48-hour period just off using that advice that we just talked about. Here's coming to that specific populated group that English, it may not be their first language. Target, because in Facebook and in Instagram ads, you can target language spoken. You can choose what language you want to target, and then obviously you make the ad in that language, and then make sure whatever page you're sending them to book the appointment is in that language as well. And yeah, I challenge everybody to do that, because you're going to let it give it time to run. Sometimes it happens quick, sometimes give it a couple weeks, a month, like I mentioned earlier. But that's a really good way to separate yourself while everybody else is kind of running Facebook, Instagram ads.
Gotcha. Awesome, Shane. I appreciate your time. And if anyone has further questions, you can find them on the Dental Marketer Society Facebook group, or where can they reach out to you directly?
Yeah, and you can always reach us at crimsonmediagroup.com. That's our website. You can fill out our contact form there. And if you want a free marketing analysis, everybody that comes from the Dental Marketer podcast gets a free marketing analysis with us. We'd be happy to run that for you and get on a call with you, kind of show you where areas of opportunity are. And if you want us to help, great. If not, you just want the information, that's fine too.
Nice, man. We appreciate that. So, guys, go get your free marketing analysis. It's going to be in the show notes below. Make sure you reach out to Shane. And Shane, thank you so much for being with me on this Monday morning marketing episode.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.